The Dome of the Rock is an Islamic shrine located on the Temple Mount in the Old City of Jerusalem. The Temple Mount, where the Dome of the Rock, the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and the Golden Gate stand, is one of the most precious pieces of land on Earth. Let's find out scientists just show Seekid with this discovery under the Dome of the Rock. Its initial construction was undertaken by the Umayyad Caliphate on the orders of Abd al-Malik during the Second Fitna in 691 to 692 CE, and it has since been situated on top of the site of the Second Jewish Temple, built in c. 516 BCE to replace the destroyed Solomon's Temple, which was destroyed by the Romans in 70 CE. The original dome collapsed in 1015 and was rebuilt in 1022 to 23. Jerusalem was recaptured by Saladin on Friday, October 2, 1187, and the Haram was reconsecrated as a Muslim sanctuary. The cross on top of the Dome of the Rock was replaced by a golden crescent, and a wooden screen was placed around the rock below. Salah al-Din's nephew, al-Malik al-Muazzam Isa, 615 to 24/1218 to 27, carried out other restorations within the Haram and added the porch to the Aqsa Mosque. The Haram was the focus of extensive royal patronage by the sultans during the Mamluk period, which lasted from 1250 until 1510. The large-scale renovation was undertaken during the reign of Mahmud II in 1817. The Dome of the Rock was badly shaken during an earthquake in Palestine on Monday, July 11, 1927, rendering useless many of the repairs that had taken place over previous years. The Dome of the Rock is the world's oldest surviving work of Islamic architecture. The two engineers Yazid ibn Salam from Jerusalem and Raja ibn Haywe from Basin were ordered to spend generously on the construction. The Dome of the Rock holds great value for Muslims. The Muslims believe that the Dome of the Rock is part of the sacred Masjid al-Aqsa, which is the third holiest mosque in Islam. When Prophet Muhammad, PPUH, traveled to the Masjid-e-Aqsa from Mecca, he led the congregational prayers offered by all the prophets and messengers of Allah. Also, the Prophet Muhammad, PPUH, ascended to the heavens from the Dome of the Rock through a divine ladder coming down from the heavens. It is also believed that the Prophet's PPUH footprint is visible on the rock even today. This is why it is so important for Muslims. Not just in Islam, the Dome of the Rock is sacred in Christianity too. Both the Jews and Christians believe that the Dome of the Rock was built over the place where the Temple of Solomon existed. Until the conquest of Salahuddin Ayyubi, the Dome of the Rock was used as a church by the Christians. Also, the Jews believed that the Dome of the Rock was the place where Abraham laid down his son to sacrifice for God. Hence, the rock holds significance for all three Abrahamic faiths. Professor Shlomo Dov Goitein of the Hebrew University states that the Dome of the Rock was intended to remove the fitna, or annoyance, constituted by the existence of the many fine buildings of worship of other religions. The very form of a rotunda, given to the Kaaba as sacra, although it was foreign to Islam, was destined to rival the many Christian domes. A.C. Creswell, in his book, Origin of the Plan of the Dome of the Rock, notes that those who built the shrine made use of the measurements of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. The diameter of the dome of the shrine is 20.2 meters, and its height is 20.48 meters, while the diameter of the dome of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre is 20.9 meters, and its height is 21.5 meters. The structure is basically octagonal. It comprises a wooden dome, approximately 60 feet, 20 meters, in diameter, which is mounted on an elevated drum consisting of a circle of 16 piers and columns. Surrounding this circle is an octagonal arcade of 24 piers and columns. The outer side walls are made of porcelain and mirror the octagonal design. They each measure approximately 60 feet, 18 meters wide, and 36 feet, 11 meters high. Both the dome and the exterior walls contain many windows. The Dome of the Rock structure and ornamentation are rooted in the Byzantine architectural tradition, yet its construction in the 7th century represents an early stage in the emergence of a distinct Islamic visual style. Below the dome, a portion of the sacred rock is exposed and protected by a railing. A stairway leads to a natural cave beneath the surface of the rock. The interior and exterior of the structure are decorated with marble, mosaics, and metal plaques. Although the mosaics are similar in technique to those found in Byzantine public buildings and churches, the Dome of the Rock's mosaics excludes any representations of human or animal forms, instead featuring Arabic script and vegetal patterns intermixed with images of items such as jewels and crowns. After the advent of the Abbasid dynasty in the 8th century, some commentators began to report that Abd al-Malik built the Dome of the Rock as a substitute for the Kaaba in an attempt to relocate the site of the Muslim Hajj from Mecca, then under the control of rebels led by Ibn al-Zubayr to Jerusalem. Modern scholars have questioned this interpretation, citing the strong anti-Umayyad bias of Abbasid historiography, as well as evidence that Mecca remained the destination of the Hajj throughout Ibn al-Zubayr's revolt. Other scholars have posited an eschatological motive for the builders of the Dome of the Rock, arguing that its placement, architecture, and decorative motifs correspond to images associated with Islamic and Byzantine beliefs about Judgment Day and heaven. The foundation stone, on which Jews believe the world was created, is thought to be located within the compound and is usually identified with the rock beneath the dome. Over the course of many centuries, the Dome of the Rock continued to be altered in form and function, and its identity serially transformed through successive restoration projects. Each new group that conquered Jerusalem laid claim to the monument in its own way, from the Abbasid Caliph al-Ma'mun's added inscriptions claiming credit for the construction of the edifice, to the Crusaders' use of the dome as a church, to the Ottoman Sultan Suleiman's massive restoration program that enveloped the building's exterior in a contemporary and quintessentially Ottoman program of Iznik tilework. In 1994, Jordan and Saudi Arabia donated 80 kilograms of gold to redo the exterior of the gold dome. The Dome of the Rock is a living monument to the complicated and layered network of interdynastic and intercultural connections that underlie our commonly more linear historical narratives. The dome is formally owned and maintained by the Ministry of Awqaf in Jordan. Until the mid-19th century, non-Muslims were barred from the area. Since 1967, non-Muslims have been allowed some entry, but non-Muslim prayers on the Temple Mount are not allowed. After Israeli Prime Minister Ariel Sharon visited the Temple Mount in 2000, in what was considered by some a provocative gesture that set off Muslim rioting, non-Muslims were forbidden to enter the temple compound. In 2006, the compound was reopened to non-Muslim visitors free of charge. Non-Muslims may never enter on Fridays, Saturdays, or Muslim holidays. Entry is through a covered wooden walkway next to the security entrance to the western wall, known as the Mughrabi or Maimonides Gate. Entry to the mosques themselves is prohibited to non-Muslims, as is access to the Temple Mount through the Cotton Market. Visitors undergo strict security screening, and items such as Hebrew prayer books or musical instruments are not allowed. In addition to these restrictions put in place by the Muslim Council, most Orthodox rabbis regard entry to the compound as a violation of Jewish law. This restriction is based on the belief that even though the temple was destroyed centuries ago, the precise location of the Holy of Holies, the sanctuary that was only entered by the high priest, is not known. However, some rabbis believe that modern archaeological and other evidence has enabled them to identify areas that can be safely entered without violating Jewish law. So, that's it. Please like, share, and comment your thoughts below if you liked this video. Remember to subscribe to see our next video. Stay safe, and we will be back soon with another video.